Hey guys, Dice Apprentice here. I started this video, or I've been thinking about this video for a little while. Basically, I'm hoping to start a conversation in the dice control, dice influence community. The goal is to start a conversation about uh, adjustments in your throw, or adjustments in your grip, or just minor adjustments. I mean, there's been times where I was watching a Dice King recently, and I was using a hardway set, and he was he has a dice grip like this, and you basically you pull it back to about where this chip is here. You pull it back, and you let it go, and that was working for me. I was trying to get back to basics because my dice control lately has been, I've been struggling, and so I was trying to go back to basics, hard way set, you know, focus on grip, focus on focus on my backswing, and just overall just trying to get back to basics, and that was working for me. Um, but one of the things that happened was while I was doing that, getting back to basics, um, one of the things that happens was I was doing okay, with this grip and this throw, the hard way set, but eventually I got to the point where I was just throwing sevens. I had the sevens dialed in basically, and so I was struggling with what changes could I make to to not throw the seven. And so what I've come up with lately is, instead of holding the dice like this, and this may work for you, but this wasn't working for me, is I put the cut edge, basically I touch the felt with the cut edge, I pull it back just a little bit, and give it a toss, and that's been helping me to avoid the seven. And so the conversation I'd like to have is, you know, what adjustments do you guys make when you find yourself throwing sevens? I know you can change the dice set. Sometimes that doesn't always work. A while ago, I was using a hardway set, and I kept throwing this, like if I was throwing a hardway set like this with like a 3-6 hardway set, I would throw a 6-1-7, and so I knew that the front faces were double pitching, and so I was able to basically start with the hardway set and rotate the right dice a quarter turn, and then so instead of getting a 6-1-7, I would potentially roll 12s or something thereabouts. But anyway, it was an attempt to turns out to be a 3V set, or any V set depending on how you set it, hardway set with the quarter turn. But that was helping me avoid a 7 because of the way the dice were pitching. And so, and that's another thing, is I believe anyway that most sevens will tell a story about what your dice are doing. I strongly recommend, when you're practicing with throwing dice, use 2 different colored dice. I always try to use at least 1 red dice, and I always keep the red dice on my left, so that I know what these dice are doing whenever I throw them down the table. I don't profess to be a dice professor. I don't profess to be that proficient at it. I mean, I call myself the Dice Apprentice because I'm still learning. I was watching a Dice King video, and the guy's pretty good. He's got a lot of strong content out there, but I asked him this very question, and I got no response, unfortunately. And so I wanted to put this video together to kind of get the community talking about this particular subject. Not always changing a dice set works, and then also in my opinion, there's a couple different sevens, and so I'll quantify that by, there's one thing to throw a 7 where you throw it, and your grip is good, your throw is good, your landing zone is good, and it sounds good, but then then it rolls into a 7, and so that, to me, that is throwing a 7. And then there's the other 7, or one other 7, that I call the popping 7, whereas, and I heard Let It Roll talk about this on one of his videos the other night, where he was throwing the dice, and one of his dice popped up, and he said that makes him nervous because it's typically a 7. And I've noticed that happens too, is like if one dice pops up like popcorn, chances are you're going to be 7ing out. And so one of the adjustments I made for that was to lower the height of my throw, instead of trying to come down, straight, not straight, but come down this way. My dice are now coming in, at a shallower angle, so I don't get that popcorn pop. I don't, and so that's been helping me avoid a 7. So Let It Roll. If you're out there watching this video, try reducing your angle and see if that doesn't help you prevent from popping that 7. Anyway, I don't want to make this. I have some other tips or observations, but I just wanted to get the conversation started. Please leave a comment, or make your own video, and let's start talking about this. Leave comments on this video so other people can comment. You can email me directly, or if you want to send me a video, I can post it for you. I just want to open up a conversation about this particular topic, as far as making adjustments in your throw or your grip, your landing zone. I mean, all those are known changes where you can throw the dice harder, you can throw them softer, but like I said, just a subtle difference for me of going from this to this. I think what happened is my dice don't rotate as much, so they're not spinning as much when they get there, and so I'm not rolling into a 7 as often as I used to. So that's the main tip for this video. Like I said, I have some other tips, but I wanted to get this conversation started, just to see if there was interest in the community to start talking about this. But if you have interest in it, please leave a comment. I really want to see what other people are doing to make adjustments in their throw, make adjustments in the way they hold their dice. Whatever you recommend, I want to know what you're doing in order to help the community. I think this is a topic that needs to be discussed. So hopefully you guys like the video. If you don't like the video, thumbs down it. I don't care. It's a topic that I've been trying to get started, and hopefully this video will get the path on the right track. Anyway, I appreciate your time. As always, I appreciate my subscribers. When I started this, I didn't know what to expect. I'm deeply moved by you guys subscribing to my videos. I appreciate that. I recommend using two color dice when you're practicing. Oh, another thing, I just thought about this. Sorry. So when I started out probably, I want to say 5 years ago now, maybe 4. I built a practice rig. It was a receiving station that I built. And one of the problems, well, a couple of problems that I had, one of them was that the receiving station was only basically 1.5 feet wide. And so I would say at least 40% of my throws wouldn't stay on the station when I was throwing it. And then I realized what I was doing was I was adjusting my throw in order to just keep them on the receiving station. And so you guys out there, I'm not knocking the practice rigs at all. I used it for years. I did build my own table. If you guys need help with that, contact me. I'll do what I can to help you with a design or dimensions or anything like that. I'm willing to help. The other thing that I did was I did not build me a throwing station. And when I first started out, I was just throwing the dice. I walked back, I measured off about 8 to 9 feet, and I just started throwing the dice, and it helped. I won't say that it didn't. It did help. Then I bought some some chairs, and they had a high back on them. So I turned the chair around because I'm only 5'6", so at the table I'm kind of vertically challenged. The geometry of the table, you know, it affects how I have to hold my arm in order to actually throw the dice. So that was something else that I was trying to get over. So if you are, this is my opinion. If you are using a practice station, I strongly recommend you make yourself, or you buy a throwing station, so that the mechanics of you know of your arm swing and all that kind of stuff is very consistent to the table. So with that, I'll leave you with that. Again, I have nothing against the practice rigs, and I'm not putting them down. I'm just telling you what my experience with the practice rigs were. You know, again, they wouldn't stay on it, and chances are I wasn't throwing right, because the dice are supposed to settle down, you know, kind of like, not quite like that, but you know what I'm saying. It's supposed to settle down pretty quick, so they should stay on the dice rig anyway. Maybe my rig was too hard, too bouncy. I don't know, but I do know that I was chasing my dice because they were off the table a lot. Anyway, so those are some of the recommendations that I have. Please leave a comment. I really would like to start a conversation in the community about this particular subject. You know, tips, tricks, just, you know, whatever you guys have come up with over the years to make yourself better throwing dice. Anyway, again, I appreciate comments. I appreciate my subscribers, and I would really love to start this conversation. Anyway, appreciate it. Dice Apprentice out. Thank you, guys.